Hello and welcome back to MDG Media. This is Round 2 Back 9 MPO lead card coverage of the 2025 European Disc Golf Championships, aka the EDGC. It is an incredible weekend here in Sula, Norway. I'm Connor Wood, and with me, Mr. Andrew Gum.
Yeah, happy to be here back in the saddle, riding this one out with you. New merch available. We've been plugging it a lot, but that's because it's great stuff, and that's because we want you to have it. And we'd like the support, of course.
That's it. You're supporting European disc golf coverage. This team of people brings you this free disc golf coverage week in and week out. The grind is real, but we love to do it, and we're happy to be here.
Absolutely. So much passion in this project. And if you know somebody that likes to just look cool and doesn't even watch disc golf coverage, let them know what's happening. Yeah, because this is good quality stuff. I can promise you that. The best in the business.
We see some names here as well. Other people who are loving being on the course this weekend. None other than Niklas, Anttila, just shredding continuously. Still bogey free, still OB free. The man is a machine. We'll see if he's able to keep it up on the back nine.
Yep, hole 10, uphill blind shot, moving left to right. Pretty tight, I guess. There's space on the fairway, but it's a pretty particular shot. It's quite a specific line that you have to hit if you want to get all the way up there to the basket. And yeah, a couple of little skinny birch trees on the right here that do seem to catch a lot of the shots that look really good coming in, but they're just a little bit on the right side. And a little bit of a kind of like a shelf here. There is a drop off on the right side. I haven't seen it really punish anybody yet, but I can imagine it could.
Yeah, kick off a tree can land you there. A very common result is somewhere near the FPO basket.
Oh, wow.
Not for Niklas.
That's by far the best I've seen. That was so good. Right there. Nicely done.
Yeah, much more. I thought for a second he might have it overturned, but he found the late stability. It's a very interesting shape, this fairway, because you have to turn it over through the gap initially for the right-handed backhand, but you need the stability to kick in quite quickly. It sort of straightens out back to the left again. It's a very specific width that you need to manage the entire way. Dennis has also done really well, but that slope kicks in there.
Unlucky.
But circle 2 look for birdie on hole 10, I think.
Yeah.
Take that.
Yeah, for sure. And he smashed a really awesome C2 putt here yesterday, and Niklas did as well from even further away from a knee.
That's right. Check out the round 1 coverage if you haven't.
Yeah, and check the reel on Instagram. That's pretty sick. I mean, come on. That's amazing stuff. Knut up there with a chance for it, too. Pretty solid. Kuoksa up first. Giving it a stab, but not able to get the height that he needs. That's like about where Niklas hit that putt from that I'm talking about, so you can see how difficult that was. And
yeah, unclear for me if Kristian's was a layup or a bid. The height would indicate layup. The speed would indicate bid. Dennis there just off the cage, battling that uphill look. We go now to Knut. Closer than I thought initially, and absolutely hard to...
Yeah, great putt. He was way up there. Getting a handshake from the European champ, Niklas.
And those sort of antics are just great to see from a guy who's also shredding the course, Speaks so much to his mindset, his demeanor. Former European champion looking to secure another one here in 2025.
Yeah, such a cool dude. He's actually got a really great sense of humor. It was something that I didn't really notice so much in his early years, but he's really kind of come out of his shell and being very outgoing. Really great camaraderie, etiquette, everything. Good laughs, good times, always when you got Niklas on the card, for sure.
Players will continue here on hole 11, a long par 5 at 303 meters. You have this initial tee shot over the water, bringing you into this open field. You do have OB lining the left and right, but it's a very generous fairway. You can really just rip one out into the field. For your second shot, you're looking to get to the top of this plateau. Anything that finds you past this tree line here will set you up for a look into the green as the fairway bends over to the right. Your third shot, you're trying to play over these slopes, past this bush, and land yourself on yet another sloped green. You have some natural rough behind, but no OB to speak of once you get this far. It's really just about controlling that soft landing here into the green.
Yeah, pretty epic par 5, really. I mean, over 300 meters, nearly 1,000 feet. It's a journey.
Dennis just can't stay off those eBay disc marketplaces, man. On the phone every second shot. just hunting those crows.
Well, you can't let them crows slip by, you know, like.
No way. Not Dennis. He would never. Niklas, beautiful drive out to the left as well, will open up the angle on his second shot a little bit more. We hear the wind now as well. The morning had a bit of rain. The afternoon picked up a little bit in the breeze, but it's also just this open hole coming off the lake to the right. You can't see it in the frame, but a pretty significant body of water there.
Kaboom! Look at the move on this one. He is way up there. I was standing with Double G right now when that went down, and he was impressed with the distance there. He said I would do the exact same thing.
That says a lot. Getting praise from Double G on the distance.
Yeah, one of the furthest throwers the game's ever seen.
Dennis ducking some heads and sneaking back in bounds just in time. Very fortunate, as I think he was getting a lot of distance cut off. Had he not come back in bounds there, would have been significantly shorter. Now getting to play this, opting for the forehand, and despite the basket being on the right there, fading left is really no problem at all. That's a pretty perfect position to be to attack the green.
Niklas's second hyzering up to the shelf. A little bit shy from where he wanted to be, but he's fine there. No problem. He's got good footing, you know, a straight shot to the basket. The last part of this fairway is pretty open. There's not really too much that could go wrong once you get up to that shelf. And the green isn't really too sketchy. There's a slight roll away potential on the left side, but it's as far as this course goes, it's one of the more mild and, you know, manageable greens.
Knut as well getting up to that shelf. Kristian here. A lot of these guys who really boom can even try to attack the green in two shots. 300 meters with an uphill element, and he is going for it. The ultra-wide power hyzer around the second tree line, swinging it in late. And with the collapse of the gallery, he may have some sort of
He's
look.
in C2.
That's gnarly, man. That is, there are so few people in the world who can have a chance at that.
Yeah, that even impressed Garrett Gerthy. As I said, he was along for the ride on this one and really admiring Kristian Kuoksa's abilities. That says a lot, yeah, as you said. To impress that dude, you got to do some serious stuff. Whoa. The footing can be really tough on that hillside, like especially as you mentioned with the weather that we've seen. It's been 3 weeks, quite wet and a pretty mild summer overall, so the ground is very saturated. It's pretty spongy, you know, and it can slide out from under you, especially on a hillside like that when you're trying to put a lot of velocity on the disc. I hope he didn't tweak any, you know, ankle or anything there. It looked a little bit awkward.
Yeah, really nice shot from Niklas there, just matching the slope of the hill, getting the height just right. Kristian says, I would like that tap in birdie, please. Not going to mess with any funky business, but cannot make the hole much easier than he did just there. We go to this putt looking up the slope, and the band preventing him, blocking his dreams of a birdie there. Niklas's chance. Mean band for this lead card.
Yeah. That was right on line and had a, you know, really good look to it. He's kind of wondering about the wind, thinking he had it just right, but being a little bit high. Wow, nice birdie.
Smashes that one in, sneaks it over the cage. Right now, Dennis is 1 stroke behind Kristian, just for a few seconds more before the tap in. 1 stroke behind Knut. And with Kristian's birdie there, going to be moving to 13 under and 5 under for the round so far. Very respectable, considering his first 3 holes were looking, he was looking a little bit uncomfortable, but he's right back in the mix now, even pushing those podium positions.
Yeah, really bounced back strong for sure, and, you know, showing what he's made of.
We will continue here, a beautiful hole, perhaps the signature hole here of Vasset Disc Golf Park. Hole 12, a 124-meter par 3 over the water the entire way. You have this beautiful island green. It is not really an island, more of a peninsula, but plays like one in the sense that you need to cross to land or proceed to the drop zone. Very common for players to just get a slightly overstable disc, get the hyzer out there, crash the trees, spike on in. We've seen a couple of aces already this week. We saw Krzysztof Novak on the practice round. We saw Evelina Salonen in the morning on the FPO field. Pretty incredible hole and just great action on this hole every time.
Yeah, dream hole, dream aces for those two. I mean, hats off. What a magic moments to witness, and yeah, what a beautiful hole. Gotta love it. Kuoksa going with the backhand. Heiser, got to get through these trees. It's kind of 50-50 when you head in towards those. That one gets through clean. Didn't hear a sound, and he's there. Circle 2. Head on over to mdgmedia.eu/shop to order your merch.
Website's looking great right now. Shout out to Benjamin, building a beautiful MDG website. Out now. Go check it out. Dennis just a little bit shy on the height there. Finds that cliff face. Niklas has a lot of width here. We'll see if that late overstability can get him into putting range. But we'll see what he's left with. He's pretty far away and with some trees in the way. Knut now.
Oh, yeah. Very nicely done. Yes, this is your first time here on the property. Tell us your thoughts about it.
Wow, this place is absolutely like a dream. Like, video does not even give it any justice. Being here in person is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, just yesterday we were watching it on the television, and now we're here. Hearing the skeet shooting back in the background, it just kind of reminds me of Florida with absolutely amazing views, you know. So this place is epic. If you get a chance to come on out here, I'm telling you, you're not going to miss. So come on out.
Yeah, they were loving it, the views, and they were super excited to get to play it. First time here, so they were really kind of blown away at how majestic it is.
Knut with this putt facing the cliff. You see the frustration. Unclear if he sat down in time. Dennis is safe.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, what a putt. 4 down. He's had some great highlights so far. You know, like only 4 down, it feels like he could be even better. You know, he's had a couple of heavy chain outs, a couple of opportunities that didn't really fully go his way, but he's looking really good. You know, he's really in the groove and having a good time.
And he's tied 4th, not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep, looking to stay strong and hang on to that lead card position going into moving day. There we see the leaderboard. Albert Tom on fire. Maxime Tange in the top 10 with a 9 down. A lot of Finns in the mix there.
Come over here, like this way. So you're gonna line up straight to the gap also. Go try again.
Hole 13, par 4, 220 meters. Really nice hole to just let it rip here off the tee. A little bit downhill. You want to try to put yourself in position lined up nicely with this triple Mando that you're going to see on the left here. There is OB lining the right side, so you don't want to play around with that. Also on the left side, you know, but there's plenty of space on the fairway. The best tee shots will land right up here as you see this little kind of rope between the 2 trees that defines that triple Mando. Yeah, you want to get yourself into a spot where you can kind of like go down this hill, and you don't want to go on the left side with the OB. There are some trees on the right. Knut threw this one in for eagle from over 100 meters yesterday, so that's pretty rare result, I'm imagining, because if he would have missed the basket, he would have been OB. But yeah, green's right, or the OB's right behind there on the green. Very beautiful hole, quite the awesome dog leg right to left with the triple Mando. Not a ton of space up here on the tee, so most of the gallery members down there get to see the disc fly coming at them. Dennis
lot of distance required to get into a spot to attack for birdie. Dennis has done well. You need something that is overall a net straight result, but to get that distance, a lot of guys will shape something left to right and then back to the left. For Dennis, of course, the inverse with the left-handed backhand. Kristian booms one up there. That is exactly where you would like to be, never in any danger.
That's ideal. Yeah, if you got the power to get yourself there, you're laughing, you know, because you're just lined up straight with the Mando down, drop shot, speed control, second. Niklas, one of these guys that's trying to work the angles a little more to get himself up there. Comes up just a little bit short. And he's going to have to do probably a kind of a similar looking like Heiser shot coming into the green like he did yesterday, which he executed really well.
Yeah, he's definitely in play for the birdie, but being just a bit short, which is very, very common, just pinches that angle to the point where you can't shape the straight shot. And with that OB late at the green, you really need so much precision. An imperfect tee shot will often just lead players to lay up and play for par. It really is the qualifier to have a chance at birdie. We go first to Kristian. Right down the pipe, but that last hill he needed to beat catches him, and that will leave him circle 2.
Dennis, this is a little high, nose up, fading hard. Stays OB. I thought maybe it might have had a chance to roll down that hill, but there's some, you know, tall grass up there that catches it. Not really the best up, but, you know, tried his best.
I like the forehand play here, playing the overstable approach disc, flexing it through the gap, the late stability back to the right where the green opens up a bit more in terms of space, and considering his position off the tee, that's a pretty great result.
Yeah, right there on circle's edge. Gonna be a bit of a tester, but his putt's been looking so good. He hasn't actually missed a C1 putt for the whole tournament yet. I mean, that's amazing. Still hasn't gone out of bounds, still no bogeys, so keeping it clean. And that is so difficult as we see Dennis giving that a run. Just a little bit soft on the power to get it all the way in the bucket, but it's looking good. Kristian wants none of it. With that OB lurking behind, he'd rather just be under the basket, take that stress-free par. But after a drive like that, you're quite disappointed, I think, to not get the birdie. Or I would be, at least.
This man, however, does find that 3 here on 13. Knut puts himself also to 13 under with that putt. Niklas for the birdie.
How happy would you be playing this hole twice and having a total 5 strokes on it? As we see, a little chain out left there from Niklas. Wasn't too far off, but that's going to be his first C1 miss of the entire event. And just inside the circle anyway, so.
And a ridiculous standard to hold anyone to.
Of course,
going
yeah.
2 rounds deep into an event with crazy dangerous greens.
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable play that we're seeing from the man.
A super fun hole here. Hole 14 is a uphill par 3. It says 66, plays probably closer to around 80, 85 given the uphill. And the only real significant danger here is coming up short or hitting the trees on the left and right. The 2 most common plays are either a forehand spike hyzer over the left side or a putter or mid-range straight at it. You want to run it for the ace, go long. You're left then with a death putt back towards the cliff. If you miss the island, you can proceed to the drop zone, which is also a death putt towards the cliff.
Yeah, 12 meters or 40 feet, staring straight at the cliff side, so.
And just a fantastic disc golf hole for the players, for the spectators.
Oh yeah, I love everything about this one. I love everything about this course. I think it's just pretty much like perfectly designed, and the nature, the scenery, everything is really, really nice about it.
Kristian opting for the spike hyzer forehand, crashes in nicely. Niklas going to the backhand. I expect to see a slight turnover with the late stability because of that nose up. Oi, 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 right over the band.
Right on line, just a little high to get the ace, but puts him there, and he's gonna have to make a decision, you know. It's kind of right there on circle's edge. Dennis, you know what decision he's making. That's not even a question about it, is it? If he can see the basket, he's going to try to put it in it. That's pretty much guaranteed.
And
Oh, no.
Knut from the drop zone goes for it. He takes the risk, does not get the reward. Finds another OB stroke. Niklas here, just all over it. Cage to band to chains to cage and to the floor ultimately.
So close. Definitely gave it a good bid. Never a doubt there from Dennis. Putting it in.
Kristian, there we go. The putt's looking smooth now. He's settled into his round.
Yeah, he's 6 down after that rough start. Keeping it clean here on the back nine. Couple birdies. Really solid play. Really nice to see him performing well. Double G tossed that up from down there and it went in the basket. It would have gone in. That was pretty cool.
Triple G, good guy Garrett, helping out Knut there.
There you go. Nice. I like what you did there. Yeah, moving on. Hole 15. Another water carry. Par 4 this time. 212. You want to get it up there. You know, you see some spike hyzers with the righty backhand. You see some straight shots. Dennis will probably just try to hit the center gap as well and fade to the right with the lefty backhand or forehand perhaps. He can do it both ways. He's got the prowess, you know. He's got the skills. Yeah, once you get across the water, then you got to deal with this right to left sloping hillside and OB lining both the water line and the road up there on the right. A couple guardian trees, basket tucked back there behind that birch. Really beautiful hole, really nice par 4. Just, you know, kind of stunning beauty as you're there on the lakeside. Nice design with the elements.
Dangerous yet attackable. I would say the second shot far more important in terms of finding the birdie than the first. Anything in play over the lake on the first is almost always going to be sufficient in at least giving you a chance on the second to find the green.
Indeed. There you see that spike hyzer. Kuoksa with the power to just go up over the top, take the trees out of the equation and drop it in the middle of the fairway.
If you can do that reliably, I like that. Reduce the variability of the throw. Dennis finds it in time there. That late skip back to the left looked eerily similar to his previous round shot that was even lower than that, but got a skip from the out of bounds into inbounds. He himself even said, don't clap for that shot. Today he made the adjustment. Niklas as well, right up there near Dennis's shot. Very common landing zone and a bit of a conservative play in the sense that you can try to boom some huge flex way out there, but just a controlled straight and low shot. Not what Knut is doing here. The straight low shot, not for him. Smash the hyzer.
Yeah, just a slight word of advice if you're a spotter out there, volunteer spotter, don't stand in the ideal landing zone. Not to be too critical, but that was pretty disturbing for Niklas, and he was, you know, just asking the guy to stop moving at the very least, you know, being there, standing in the middle. Of course, it's hard to know if you're, you know, in any way distracting these players, but it's better to stand off of the sweet spot if you can.
And a lot of these spotters very young at this event, the local community, the youth getting involved and supporting the players. Also learning here throughout the weekend, getting to watch the best in Europe attack the course that they know so well. Dennis with just a beautiful dissection, that second throw, shaping so naturally and slowing down just in time.
But yeah, this hole actually, speaking of spotters and volunteers, this hole is the spot where the now viral video is taken of Ida Lehtomäki, the young Finn, almost taking the head off of a spotter, and he just, you know,
cool guy lean back.
Cool guy lean back. That's nearing 3 million views now already. Wow. It's gone proper viral. That's transcending the sport. Pretty cool moment there, captured on video.
We love to see it. Niklas is third here. And does connect with the only tree that was remaining between him and the basket. But he's up there at the distance. We know him to be fairly comfortable at. Very smooth, keeping, as we mentioned, his bogey-free status there. Another par. We could say he slowed down a little bit these last 5 holes, but the man is 8 under through 15. He doesn't need to do much more than that to retain his first place position, and being conservative when you are the leader, when it makes sense, I think a very wise choice.
Yeah, that's just how good Niklas Anttila is. That, you know, when you feel like he's kind of like slowing down and not really getting it all done,
He's a solo leader.
he's still there, way out in front, 20 down. You know, 5 pars in a row. For him, that's quite a disappointment. For most players, they would be just totally fine with that through those holes.
Compared to Dennis's scorecard, the previous 5 holes, 0 pars.
OTB is very specific on how they list the disc because they want you to like the disc.
Virtually in your hand tells you what the disc is going to feel like, how heavy it's going to be. It's everything you want to know before it shows up to your house.
Not just marketing.
It's only the best.
Here we see hole 16, a touchy downhill 76-meter par 3. Plays significantly less than that though. There's 2 main options that players will often go for here. A hyzer flip with a slightly understable disc landing it flat, whether it's backhand or forehand is not really important. All that it is controlling the stability. Alternatively, we also see a lot of soft flex plays with a slightly overstable disc, something like that approach slot. And me personally, I like the slightly understable option landing it flat. I think with how short the distance is, that flex play brings a lot more possibilities into play than you need to bring in. And great example of that slight understability there from Kristian.
Ace run.
Smooth.
Nearly hits the basket. Stays pretty close as well. Even with giving it the chance. Lefty backhand. Hits that guardian tree. Kicks over to the left side. You know he's running that putt. Niklas opting for the forehand. Putting it on a great line. Skipping it right there, and it checks up. Looking like he's going to get the birdie train going again after 5 consecutive pars there.
And it's interesting, we saw him play a pure hyzer. Knut, for example, with the forehand, more traditionally getting something flat or hyzer flips. Niklas was really pretty much a left to right moving shot, but able to control that so nicely and use the width available that he keeps it close. Dennis, not happy with pars, still on the non-par streak. 6 under for the round, 3 birdies in a row, 5 birdies in the last 6 holes. He is making a push to retain his spot on the lead card going into round 3.
There it is. Nice birdie. And Knut here with the cleanup. Getting that star frame. Nice work. Well played by the card. Hole 17, par 3, 86 meters. One of the scariest greens I've ever seen, if not the scariest, probably. See the basket there perched up on a little mound on the edge of this little finger peninsula. OB all along the water side, hazard on the backside. If you go OB, you got to go to the drop zone. Yeah, hazard, you know, you get to play it there with the 1-stroke penalty from where it lies. Stunning backdrop. I mean, look at the crystal clear lake, huge mountains in the background, careening waterfalls, just absolutely gorgeous.
Cannot ask for a more picturesque hole. You also can't see it right now, but there is an EDGC sign floating in the water. Really cool addition and touch to the atmosphere of the event. Kristian coming in really fast, pays the price, going OB long. That is, I believe, a mandatory drop zone.
It is.
So no matter how close you are, even on the ace run, you can be just 5 meters from the hole on your drive and have to take that 45-meter shot. Dennis.
Yeah, a little bit controversial for that rule, you know, by players anyway. There's been some major meltdowns, heard some horror stories.
Definitely can be a blow-up hole, at least after the drop zone. If you cross, you don't have to take it again, obviously. Then you can play from the island where you crossed, but big numbers can happen very quickly here.
Yeah, indeed. I've been told by the locals that's the mistake that you just cannot make. You know, you can't leave that drop zone shot short. You got to just make sure you cross in up there somewhere by the basket. Guarantee yourself at least the 5. Because it could get out of hand real quick.
And Knut, straight out of the hand, we heard him say, "Oh, no," didn't like it. He knew that one was not what he was looking for. Kristian, there is that 45-meter drop zone shot. Oi, 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 with the skip, I was worried for him. Slows down just in time.
If there's any consolation with going to the drop zone, you get to have a good look at this really gnarly black alder tree there on the left. Pretty cool. Oh.
So brutal. You see exactly why
Punishing.
this hole can kind of ruin what's otherwise a good feeling round. If you get to 17 after 16 smooth holes and take a big number here, it can hurt the heart a little bit. What a machine. I mean, come on. There's so few people who run that, and even fewer people who make it when they run it.
He is.
Shout out to Dennis. Hates taking par.
As far as putting goes, he's almost in a class of his own as far as just, you know, the fearless nature and the willingness to just take risks time and time again and just rack up highlights all the time.
I think we all aspire to be Dennis on the green, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. He's like who we are in our dreams, right? Yeah.
Dreams of Dennis. And there we go. Knut stops the bleeding, secures the double bogey. But you see, even with that putt, he's again putting towards the water. Had he missed that, it's just nightmare situation. So great that he was now able to secure it.
Oh.
And I did not mean to foreshadow, but at least Kristian keeps that one in bounds. But he too, however, takes the double along with Knut, dropping from 8 under to 6 under for the round. Both of those men going to go into 18 with a chip on their shoulder. However, is an eagleable hole. They might try to find those 2 strokes back.
Yeah, what a cool finishing hole we have here. 18 in the stadium, in front of the clubhouse there. You got a ton of OB to deal with. A couple of little inlets here that you can aim for if you want to, you know, be a little bit closer to the basket to try to cross the OB towards the pin on your second shot. Or if you got the big gun, you're going to want to try to carry the OB all the way up to the basket. And as you said, give yourself that eagle look. You know, really great finishing hole. I can't wait till Championship Sunday to see, you know, what the situation is here. And there can be a whole wide, you know, array of score separation. A lot of different numbers that can be taken here.
You can take it 2, you can take it 6, you can take everything in between. Dennis, unfortunately, not finding the inbounds, will proceed to the drop zone. And in terms of distance required, honestly feels quite similar to the tee. It's 130 compared to 160, but not having the elevation, it's still not an easy shot from the drop zone to make your way to the green. Niklas, not a man to throw OB, at least not this weekend.
He's playing it smart, you know, he just puts it down there. He's going to try to get the birdie. He's not going to mess around with that eagle hunting. This man will, absolutely. Every time. This he's probably just, you know, is he even throwing a distance driver here, or what is it? I mean, like
his favorite putter, rip it and rip it. No, definitely something with a touch of glide there, higher speed to make sure. The big mistake on that is just going short. I mean,
sure.
Obviously, the result of going long OB is the same. You end up at the drop zone either way, but it feels really unforgivable, let's say, when you try to go for it and end up short.
Sure. Good point. Yeah, smart play there from Knut.
No way. Yeah.
Putting it in bounds, which is a great feeling on this hole.
That would have been amazing.
Like if you can land your drive in bounds, then you know you're going to have a pretty good chance to get a birdie or at least a par, right? Unless you make some big mistake on the second shot. It's the tee shot is kind of the thing that you really need to make sure that you execute well in order to get off to the start that you're looking for.
Nicely done by Dennis. Might find his first par in the last 8 holes. I think that is 132 meters from the drop zone to be exact. So
Yeah.
great position for him to put himself inside the circle. Go to Knut now playing the high and wide hyzer, getting that skip, gets himself up into the green. Also circle one here to close out the round and potentially bounce back with a birdie after the dangers of hole 17. Niklas Anttila to get to 23 under if he can put this close and make a putt. That is looking really promising, Andrew.
Yeah. To go 23 down through 36 holes. That's very impressive. And to keep it so clean.
And on this course, I mean, you see that he's been able to separate himself from the field in round one. Looking to continue that in round two. Dennis does ultimately take the par, 7 under for the round. Nothing to shy away from. That is an incredible performance.
Yeah, that's going to secure his spot on the lead card for moving day. Niklas has this putt right here to go to 11 down, 1088 rated, average event rating. This one coming in, yeah, 1086, 1089 yesterday, so.
And I believe that is right up there with the record set by Gannonburr just recently for an event average. Of course, the event is not over, but at least at this moment in time, Niklas is on the cusp of setting a new all-time event average rating record in PDGA history. Pretty incredible, although there's still a lot of golf to play, and the weather is going to be looking pretty gnarly, at least on Sunday. Andrew, Saturday, we're yet to see.
Both of them.
What a finish this round, too.
Yeah, what a performance from that young man.
Okay, guys. Thank you. And
You can see he's pretty satisfied.
Thank you for doing that. Kuoksa, flink. Don't buy this.
Little photo op there at the end.
Niklas, thank you for joining us. You're the leader through 2 rounds here at the European Disc Golf Championships at 23 under with 2 bogey-free rounds. How do you do it?
I don't know. I haven't gone OB this tournament yet, which is crazy on this course because I feel like there is OB looming on like every hole. But just crazy how I'm already 23 down. Before the tournament, I said that I think like 24 to 26 will win the tournament, and it might still be the case. But yeah, I've been playing better than I thought I would be.
We have some upcoming weather warnings for this weekend. How do you handle these slightly more difficult circumstances on the course?
Yeah, I try to not think about them too much. Of course, the wind is going to be crazy, so I think I will try out a couple overstable discs tonight and see how they fly, and then maybe watch some other Team Finland guys play in the mornings to see how they play in the wind and how the hosts play on this course, because I haven't played this course in the wind. Practice was pretty calm, so it's going to be kind of new to me on this course, but we'll see how it goes.
What would it mean to you to be the 2025 European Disc Golf Champion?
That's a big question. A lot, obviously. I feel like it's almost like the 5th major for us Europeans. It's played only every 2 years. Every country has the best players playing in this tournament, and so many different countries. It just feels like a big tournament to me, and I want to play good in this every time.
Disc golf traditionally is an individual sport, but you're also here this weekend representing your country. How does that change the feeling of the event?
I just feel proud to be playing in this amazing jersey and just trying to cheer us up. I was playing with Kristian today, and after every birdie we were like, let's go Finland, and it was almost like felt like a team sport again, which is I played ice hockey and soccer and floorball for my first 15 years of my life, so I like the team aspect of sports, and it just feels a little bit like that. Reminds me of old times.
Amazing. Europe is behind you. We look forward to seeing your finish this weekend, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks. See you tomorrow.
Brilliant interview there. Great to hear all those insights from the man who is way out front in this tournament. 5 strokes ahead of Albert Tom, who matched Niklas's course record at 12 down today. That was a 1094 rating, best round of his career.
A true professional, and we have officially reached the halfway mark of this tournament. Make sure to join us in round 3. Make sure to join us in round 4, and we will find out soon who will be crowned your next European Disc Golf Champion. We see you there.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. Make sure you like and subscribe. Check out the new merch. Join the family on Patreon. All that stuff goes a long way to help support us. So happy to have you following along and watching this great coverage of the European Disc Golf Championships. See you later.